a process. Step 4, which is action today to supersize and grow your business. Why do we want to do it today? Because now is the only time we can actually act. So I'm going to share a tool today that we can use to analyze the alternatives that we came up with yesterday, the options that we explored in order to fill the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Now I'm doing it for branding. You could be doing it for any number of things, but I did an audit a couple of days ago that showed me to my face, so I couldn't ignore it anymore, that there's a huge gap in what I do and how I communicate that. And so that has everything to do with branding. So my top 3 choices, and what we do is we take the, why I like the 10-3-1 tools, we brainstorm at least 10 things we could possibly do to start filling that gap or to fill the gap all the way. Sometimes we will actually do something or take an action or put something in place that goes from 0 to 100 in no time at all, and no effort on our part at all, which is something we'll talk about today, by using the 5E tool to decide which alternative we're going to choose. But the top 3 that I picked, and I did a little chart here so I can actually do this with you and I can get it done for the day, using what I call the 5Es tool. The 5Es tool meaning we're going to look at, I want to try to not do it upside down. We're going to look at effective. What are the 3 do we think is the most effective? We give that the most points. What effort level, and by effort level, I mean how much effort do I personally have to put into this option in order to take action? Thirdly, we're going to look at our emotional readiness, because I don't know about you, but I've personally found, and in my businesses as well, that if I am not bought into or emotionally invested and ready to take action, it isn't going to happen. I will find some way to undermine the process, put it off, to procrastinate, get other things that become higher priority to make sure that thing doesn't happen. And a lot of times I'll be catching myself doing that, and I'll be like, whoa, why am I not ready to do this? And guess what? Maybe it isn't me that has to do it at all. So emotional readiness, then expense. What is the actual immediate expense in order to put this alternative into play, take action on it? A lot of times it doesn't cost anything except our time, but our time is an expense too, right? And we want to take that into account. And then the final E is energy. Energy meaning all of the collective energy from the business that's going to need to be, all the resources, all the energy that's going to need to be put toward this selection or this particular action in order to make it happen and help us fill the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Now, when I look at this, and yesterday I was mentioning that a lot of times after you've done the 10-3-1 tool and brainstormed a lot, you start to see patterns and things that come up and actions that we can take that would fill almost every need. And so I wanted to cover that a little bit with this too. And so I say we can have done for you, we can have done with you, and we can have do it yourself, right? Depending on our level of resources, our level of energy, etc. All these E's that we're going to analyze. So if I hire somebody to do it for me, will that be effective? If I hire the right person, of course, it'll be effective. Will done with me and done by myself be more effective? If I had all kinds of time and energy and desire to do this, I would have done it already. So I'm probably going to rate done for you the 3, done with me the 2, because I honestly think that we can't have our branding, and I'm talking about my personal brand, which will affect my businesses. I can't have somebody else. I can't just hand that off to ChatGPT or to some random branding expert that I have no knowledge of without having input into that, right? Or I will not be happy with the result. And then do it yourself. Like I said, if I was going to do it myself, I would have done it already. The second E is effort level. How much effort is it going to take me to find somebody to do it for me, to do it myself, and to do it with somebody else? Well, of course, if I hire somebody, I'm going to just spend a little energy up front and effort finding the right person and then just paying them money to get it done. Third E we're going to look at is emotional readiness. Am I emotionally ready to commit to a clear focus and brand going forward in 2026? I will say a resounding yes. It's long overdue. And then expense, what's it going to cost? Of course, to have somebody do it for me is going to be more expensive than if I do it with somebody or do it myself. Do it with somebody, is a coach, a community, a group, a consultant. Do it myself, a mastermind, a community, a group, a course, a couple of courses. And I'll be honest, I've taken branding courses before and I still did not implement them because they didn't feel right to me. So I think emotional readiness, it's going to play a big part in my decision today. Expense. And then finally, all the collective energy that's going to be required in order to make this happen for the organization. Not just my effort, energy I have to put into it. That is effort level. Energy to me is all of the collective, everything that has to go into it. So I love this little tool because once I rate each of these 3 things, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3 being, depending on the E, positive or negative, right? If it costs the most money, that probably gets the lowest number. If it is the most effective and the least effort level for me, that gets the highest number. So that is our tool for deciding what we're going to do today. We're going to run our top 3 choices through that. And you might not even need to do this. You might look at your top 3 choices and say, I'm acting on this today. No brainer. Don't even have to think about it. Don't need a tool to analyze it. I'm just going to do it. But if you're on the fence and you're not sure exactly which one to act on today, a tool like this is very, very helpful. Eisenhower matrix, the pros and cons, plus and minus, head, heart, intuition tool, urine analysis, which is my personal favorite. And I think the 5 E's is probably my second favorite because it gives us more objective analysis of the situation than just what we think or feel, because that's always colored by our beliefs. All right. Any questions about this? If you need help with this, if you want a better write-up on how to actually apply the 5 E's, just ask and I will do it quickly and put it in the comments below. Otherwise, have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, see you tomorrow. Bye. Take action today.